Today's May 5th, 2017. John, I got a prediction I need to make. Not only can Le Pen win, she will win.
Wow, because they have her down 26 points in the polls.
I know.
So that means that, and there are a lot of people who are either undecided or allegedly going to withhold their vote. So those two factors could weigh into this and could make it a lot closer than that 26-point margin. But the French polling, which has been accurate so far, has her down 26. But I will say that I know that right after that more or less four-way race 2 weeks ago, Andrew, she was supposed to be down some 40 points. And so she's 14 points better than that right now. And if they withhold votes and or if some of these guys that are undecided go with her, of course they could go with Macron instead, but it would be an upset. It would be a surprise. There's no doubt about that.
All right. Well, you got me on record saying it. And
we got you on record.
And I'm not stuttering.
I will note for you three things. One, the volatility of the euro has come crashing down. In fact, after the debate this week, it fell 8%. The volatility, not the euro currency, but the volatility of the euro currency, and so it has made a dramatic move lower over the past little bit. Which, the tea leaves would say that means that they think Macron wins. Likewise, the STOXX. Actually, it might be V. I might have left off of. I can't remember if it's V stocks, VSTOXX, or just STOXX. But that is a future that trades on the volatility of the European market, and that is down dramatically as well. Now, one thing that works in your favor, Andrew, is that the German market, the DAX, the 30-stock German market, biggest market in Europe, is reflecting a little higher risk rather than lower risk into this election. It just moved up from 13.5 at the beginning of the week to about 15 and change right now into the election. And they're closed now, so it's not going to move any more than that ahead of the election. But that's the only one of the three majors that I'm watching that shows any hedging at all of bets that Mr. Macron could lose. So we'll see, but it's a bold call by you.
Okay. Oh, speaking of which, some good news here. I don't know if you heard this. My cousin, remember my cousin I was telling you about on the Ronald Reagan?
The chaplain?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He got promoted to captain.
Oh, congratulations.
It's a big deal.
That's huge.
Yeah.
How many years has he been in the Navy?
20 some odd years, and he was on the George Washington, which is an aircraft carrier. Then he was on the Ronald Reagan aircraft carrier. Then he was in the Coast Guard because they move him around as a chaplain. And he did the Cape May down there as a chaplain. And now he's out, you're going to love this, at the MCRD, the Marine Corps Recruiting Depot in San Diego, the Hollywood Marines.
Wow.
So if you are getting your butt kicked in Paris Island or out on the left coast in San Diego, he's the guy you go see. If you can't take it anymore, he's the guy. So he's got now he's a Marine captain. Oh, he's a full 06, so yeah, 20 some odd years. Yeah, it's pretty exciting because that was the same rank as my dad.
Congrats.
Yeah, we'll have to go out there and visit him, John. I don't know if you've ever been out to. I don't know if it's Pendleton. I've
been to Coronado, where the SEALs are.
Yeah, no, this is different. No.
Where the Navy base is.
No, this is where they get the guys in. I don't know if you ever go online, you watch YouTube. They got videos like first 5-10 minutes at MCRD, and they get off the bus and they just start screaming at them. These are the rules you must follow. You must stand in this line. And next thing you know, they got their hair shaved, and they're young kids too, which is another kind of weird. They're so young. They're like 17, 18
Yeah.
years old. So anyway, best of luck to him. So.
Well, he's a good man. He'll do a good job there.
Yeah. So what else you trading today? You want to talk about this IBM and Warren Buffett?
I want to talk, because you and I have said for quite a while, Andrew, that this guy's an idiot. Not Warren Buffett, but it's not a good trade. It's not something you want to, can you own IBM and write calls against it? Yeah, I suppose you can, but, I will just say that I think they've given Ginny Rometty about as much rope as they can give, and that they need to decide what they're going to do, because the leadership here has been pathetic in IBM. So I would say they have not done what they should be doing, and that's a real problem. Look at that. It's completely flooded over here, Andrew. I see some cars that tried to go through I'm over here just crossing the GW Bridge on the way to the airport, and there's some cars literally floating.
Get out of
in
here.
The water.
Wait, I didn't know it was raining in New York.
I don't know what is going on, Andrew, but we don't just get rain anymore. When it rains like 5 inches in an hour kind of thing. We don't just get, oh yeah, well, it's a gentle rain. It is, biblical, some of these rains that we get.
So it's raining there?
Building an ark kind of stuff. Oh yeah. Huh. Pouring. But anyway, back to Warren Buffett and IBM. So Ginny Rometty is, of course, the CEO of IBM, has been for the whole time Warren Buffett's had his investment in there. He claims that when you back the dividends back into his investment, he actually made a little, and he only sold a third of his stake, but he sold it basically from 180 on down, and his share price, his average in was over 180. But when you average in those dividends that he collected through the years, he says he made some money on it. But by him announcing this today that he was getting out, of course, he hurt his other 2/3 position because stock fell down to 153. Now, I didn't get in here and sell puts like I did after the earnings last week, because I feasted on that last week, made some nice money on it. But I don't know if this is, I think some other big folks might be getting out. So I was going to give it a day or two to settle before I took any bold moves in IBM, because, yeah, they've got a real problem right now. They're not making, nearly enough money, and they're mainly services. That's mainly what they do now, is services. In other words, consulting and so forth. So I don't know if this dog is going to come back.
It's not a trading stock. You're not going to trade this thing.
This one will be, here's my prediction.
You get a dividend.
It will be dumped from the S&P 5, from the Dow Jones Industrials. They
really?
will drop.
Now there's a prediction. You think?
So you have the French election. I have that this is
Wow.
the first step on the way to dumping IBM out of this thing.
Huh. Okay. Great prediction. We know it's not going into the Dow or the NASDAQ is Uber.
Oh.
They should have gone public last year. They should have taken their money off the table while everybody else was money grabbing. They're in big trouble.
They should have taken it at 20. They should have taken it at 40 billion valuation. They should have taken it at 60 billion valuation. Allegedly, the last raise was even over that. This is ludicrous. They don't make money. I know you don't have to make money to have your stock go up. I understand that. But this is a problem. And they have a criminal investigation into various practices.
And
where there's smoke, there's fire.
And I can tell you one. Okay? I'll tell you a Chicago one. As you know, I ride my bike home from work every day, and going down Orland Street where the where those cab drivers are. They set up an office down there called I forget the name of it. It was called Halio, Hailo, a Chicago cabbie, and another friend of mine, Felicia, and she was doing PR. And they opened up a place there because it was close to all the cabbies, because they had the Pakistani restaurant, all those Somali joints, anything from Africa right there. Because they wanted to talk to cab drivers, so they set up a little office. And they were trying to do things the right way, and I went in there and saw them one day. I stopped in, I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And, they're telling me about ride sharing, and to me, ride sharing was kind of like one of those things. It was like online trading back in the 90s. Like, really? You're going to put your order in? And, you didn't think it would work. And, Uber obviously came to being what it is. And they complained that Uber wasn't following the rules of the city. I said, well, under my breath, I'm thinking, well, neither one of you is going to be successful anyway. Nobody's going to do this on an app. And then Uber set up a sign across the street. They just plastered one up. You want to drive for Uber, to compete with Haleo to put them out of business. And they were totally cheating. And these guys were complaining then. And this was years ago. I was like, well, okay. So that's my story on Uber cheating across the street.
Yeah, well, when you've got this much, like I say, smoke, you got to think that there may be a fire somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And, the CEO seems to be, a smart guy, but a ruthless and bad guy in a lot of ways. And I don't know why any investor would be scrambling in at this ludicrous valuation. Obviously, it's not publicly traded. You can only really get it if you're a Goldman customer or Morgan customer, but you're paying a ludicrous valuation. And I think a lot of those guys are going to be broken dreams, because I don't know that this thing is worth anywhere near what they're valuing it at.
But that aside, it was almost the only way.
I love the service, though.
Yeah, that's it. That's just it. That, doing this type of business in Chicago, that was almost the only way you could do it, is by just screw it. Don't listen to anybody. Full speed ahead. Forget the regulators. Forget taxi cab medallions. Forget insurance. Just plop out the app and do it. It's there's the right way and a wrong way. I mean, I don't know what the right way or the wrong. It seems like, well, I don't know. Just I don't think it's going to be listed anytime soon. And if it does, it's going to be a lot cheaper. But then that'll be a story for another podcast, if that happens. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go.
We had, let me see.
Yeah, what else? Yeah, what else you got? You got anything?
So we got continuation in Snapchat, Snap buying. And again, another company that's way overvalued. Doesn't mean stock can't pop. And we had, FNSR, that one. Some takeover rumors, some real aggressive option trading in the near term. So I'm long that one. I know a bunch of our subscribers are long
FNSR, Frank, Nancy, Sam, Ralph.
Yep.
Okay.
Watch that one. All right. Well, thanks for listening, folks. Have a great weekend. Remember, sign up. You can subscribe to YouTube. Get the videos. Like Andrew just did a great one today with Russell Rhodes, head instructors from the CBOE and an author. He just did a volatility sonar with Andrew today. You can get that if you're a subscriber to YouTube. You don't have to pay a cent. It's free.
He's getting his doctorate. Russell.
Good man. Russell Rhodes.
Yeah, he's a good man.
So do that over YouTube, folks, or iTunes. Thanks for joining us.